One of the big mysteries of 2018. How do you make a movie about puppets? Raunchy puppets. Puppets that swear. How do you do that without making it hysterically funny? It's a mystery that'll puzzle us all for the rest of time.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Starring, amongst others, Melissa McCarthy, Maya Rudolph, Joel McHale and Elizabeth Banks, directed by Brian Henson off of a screenplay by Todd Berger. This is my review for The Happytime Murders. The Happytime Murders is a movie set in a world where puppets and humans coexist. They live together not quite peacefully. People don't tend to like puppets all that much. There's a lot of animosity there. But there was a hit TV show called The Happytime Gang, but now puppets from the Happytime Gang are being killed off one by one, and it's up to puppet Phil Phillips and detective Connie Edwards to solve the crime. So I'll say this, I was looking forward to The Happytime Murders because comedy like this I quite like. A comedy that's just over the top and just rude and crude. Like, sometimes if you're in the right frame of mind, that can be very, very funny. And to do it with puppets, yeah, I was all in. The trailer looked good. Like, it made me laugh on several occasions. And I had high hopes, and they were quickly dashed. I will say this, though. The Happytime Murders seems to have got a bit of a critical drumming. Nobody seems to like this film. Its Rotten Tomatoes score is very, very low. A lot of people hate it, and I don't think it quite deserves that level of hate. I don't think it's that bad a movie, but at the same time, it's certainly not a very good one. It's not one that I can defend all that much. I just don't think it's quite as bad as people were saying. But yeah, still not good. And the problem for me lies in the fact that the comedy, sort of the funniest aspect of this, being that this is a world where puppets exist and they swear a lot, gets almost overlooked. Like, once the novelty wears off, and it does fairly quickly because they don't hone in on what should be the funniest thing, once that does wear off, the puppets, they may as well not be puppets for quite a lot of the time. There are moments where there are things played up to make them puppets, like when they get shot, sort of everything kind of explodes out of their head, or the felt, or whatever it is inside, but it doesn't do that enough. They just become characters, really, and then this just dissolves into just a generic murder mystery, and one that's not all that interesting, not all that good. The reveal is tired and predictable. There's no shock there. There's no surprise. It's very by the numbers, and it's quite boring at times as well. And that's perhaps the biggest offence that the Happytime Murders commits, is that it is a bit of a dull film. But there are funny bits. There are funny moments here and there, and there are a couple of moments that really did make me laugh. The sex scene being one of them, but we've seen that in the trailer. But that's not it. There are funny lines. There are funny moments here and there. There's a particularly strange and bizarre sequence involving a puppet cow being milked, which I never thought I needed to see, but it made me laugh a lot. But as I say, it's too few and far between with the jokes like that and the moments like that. When it leans in to that side of things, this is really good fun, but it only does that like 10% of the time, and the rest of the movie we're just left with this kind of dull affair, really. Melissa McCarthy is fine here. Like, she does what she needs to do. Like, she's all right, but she doesn't exactly bring a great performance to this because she's not really given anything to work with. The script is really, really lacking. It's lacking in humour. It's lacking in heart. As I say, the actual mystery of the whole thing isn't that good either. So there really is nothing that she could have done here to elevate the material. The puppets themselves look good. I mean, this is a Henson company. Brian Henson directed this. So, of course, the puppets will look good. And they do work. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this movie positively, is that, yeah, the puppet work on display really is quite effective. Like, they do look good. They act good. The voice acting's pretty good for most of them. It is with the main character, Phil. But other than him and a sex-obsessed puppet, like, none of them are really given that much focus. There's not really a great deal of time to get to know many other puppets here. And that's a shame, because this is a movie about puppets. So I really feel that puppets should have been the main focus here, not just this bland murder story. Like, I get that's the overall thing of the plot, but, like, show them more puppets. Like, go fully into your puppet premise. Don't try and have the best of both worlds, which is what, like, this seems to be trying to do. It's trying to tell a murder story, but use the gimmick of rude, crude, loud puppets. But if you're going to use that gimmick, use it well, and Happytime Murders really doesn't. It's perhaps telling that the best character in this is Maya Rudolph's, and she's not in it all that much. She genuinely has the funniest lines. I kind of wish that she'd taken centre stage of this. I do wish that she'd been the lead, because I think she would have done a much better job with it. But then, as I say, there wasn't a lot she could have done. But she was the star, human-wise, I think. And yeah, not in it all that much either. So overall, Happytime Murders was a bit of a letdown for me. As I say, I don't think it's the worst film that a lot of people are saying it is. Like, I've seen worse movies this year, but it's so generic, it's so bland, it's so dull. And while, as I say, it does have these funny moments in there, they're just not that often. They don't come along all that often. So a lot of this runtime was just dull. And this is a brief runtime as well. This film is not long, so it doesn't have any excuse to feel boring. Like, it clocks in at like 91 minutes, including credits. So it's a very, very quick film. So how it feels as long as it does, I really don't know. Like, that's some kind of accomplishment right there. I'm going to give the Happytime Murders a 4 out of 10. So yeah, a very low score, but as I say, I've seen worse this year. I don't think this quite deserves all the level of hate that it's getting. Like, I'm hearing a lot of people saying it is the worst movie of the year, and in my mind it's not. But yeah, it's certainly not a good one. It's definitely below average, and definitely deserves a low score. The one thing I'll say is that I hope we can get an actual good, funny puppet movie. Like, I was thinking back to Team America. I know it's a very different sort of puppet, but that film was hysterical from start to finish because, I say, that really leaned into its premise. That really leaned into the fact that these were puppets. And it did it extremely well. And this just pales in comparison to something like that. But I do hope that we get another one come along soon that does it right. I hope one that comes along that has a good script. And I hope Brian Henson gets another shot to direct a movie in this sort of vein. Because, as I say, puppet work really good here, so obviously this man knows what he's doing. He just needs much better material to work with, and yeah, I really do hope that we get it at some point soon, but maybe let this one kind of fade into obscurity first, and judging by the box office, probably won't take that long. Have you seen the Happytime Murders? If so, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Look out for more reviews coming up soon. Just found out that Crazy Rich Asians is getting an unlimited screening over here, so I'm going to be able to see that on Saturday. Really excited to see it. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but yeah, happy to see that a little bit sooner now, so I'll have a review for that next week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.